Okay, it is top of the hour, and I'm going to get started. I did open this up to people who might not be able to join right on time, and that's okay. The important part of this is to get the education out about the different things for this year's raffle, and you are my audience for that. And if you have a question that's really applicable to that slide, you can raise your hand or chime in, and we'll call on you. Or we will have time at the end for Q&A for that. I do have about 20 slides to go through. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jennifer. Let me actually bring up my first paper. First and foremost, thank you so much for your time in the middle of a Saturday. And thanks to Linda for recording and organizing this as well. So again, I'm Jennifer Rollins. I'm your district governor nominee designate, quite the mouthful, which means I'll be your district governor in the year of July 1st, 27 to June 30th of 28. So applicable that I am this year's raffle point of contact. So I did send out these slides to everyone. This is a new version as of today, and really the only change is those who have representatives I'm starting to fill in. So I do have a few blanks, and if there's any AGs or if you know of anybody, if you're just in the Rotary Friendship Circle, happy that you would ping them. Linda and I will make some phone calls as well to get these particular individuals. So I understand we might have some people that have done this for several years, and as well as some people who maybe is your first year. So hopefully this will be educational for those things that are new, old, and a little different. So let me continue to get started. Okay, this year's raffle. I do want to say that if you don't know, you probably have heard, some of you may know district designated funds, DDF. You may know of what that is and what we're talking about. But if you do, this will be a little bit of a refresher. But if you don't, let me educate you. Very wave top here. But this is all together why we do the raffle and why we energize certain fundraisers throughout the year. So our district designated funds come back to us in 3 years, and is the funding that provides the 50% of the funding when your club applies for a district grant. And that's, so the second bullet there, 50% of DDF that comes back to us is approved for district grants. This is that funding line. The other 50% is split between global grants, and that is support for global grants that are here in our district. White Clay was one, currently the Ending Human Trafficking and Ending Human Trafficking Awareness on Pine Ridge Reservation, but also that money that we support other global grants around the world, but to varying degrees. And then our district has selected that 20% of that DDF each year goes back to Polio Plus. And I do want to say that, so the money that is donated this year, and specifically donated by us to the Rotary Annual Fund Share, and it's specific to that, I do want to keep repeating that, because if you have anybody in your raffle, in your club that wants to donate in various areas, like directly to polio, that doesn't count for the back to us as DDF. It's only to the Rotary Annual Fund Share. And commonly we talk about the Rotary Foundation, which is not wrong, but there are just subsets of that. There's, hey, you can donate directly to a specific global grant, or you can donate specifically to polio, or you can donate specifically to other areas. So we're looking for the Rotary Annual Fund Share. And again, so the money that's donated this year, 50% of that, approximately, comes back to our district in the color of money of DDF, and then separated like I just mentioned. So why this year is different? Well, over the past couple of years, or many decades actually, it sits there. It's money that sits there, and each district uses it to varying degrees. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, some districts are maybe waiting for that big project or that big year that they know they're going to have a lot of, needs of this, and they just wait and they wait and they wait and they wait. And it keeps rolling over from year to year. Well, it's rolled over so much that some districts around the world have millions just sitting in the bank. Well, that's not who we are. we're Rotarians, we're people of action, and the people that donate to us, as well as you don't want it just to sit in the bank. You want to see the action and the impact to our communities that this money that has been donated goes to providing. So Rotary International is forcing our hand with this and saying, all right, you're going to spend that down to zero come July 2026. So starting in Mike Gibson's year, Terry, I see your hand. Let me just finish this slide. So starting in the year of July of 26, so that's Mike Gibson's year, who is the district governor nominee right now. He will start with zero, other than the money that was 50% of the money that was raised last year. So they are going to start over with a little bit of rollover, but not much. So my point is that the money donated this year, 50% of it might be all we have for district grants, global grants, Polio Plus, starting in the year of 27-28. So I will pause. I see your hand, Terry. Does that make sense?
So Jennifer, the funding that, it's hard to spend down to zero. So if there is any amount left over, what happens to that?
Right. So districts are being, and that's a whole nother conversation, but I will give you an answer. So districts know of this. We've talked about this for a couple of years now. And so your district leadership is discussing how to reflow that left or right. We can select what we do. In short, if we have extra, we would re-tag it to Polio Plus. For whatever we don't or to a particular grant. If we don't re-tag it, that's when it will be reached back and put back into the full fund of Rotary Foundation. Okay, so continuing on, pivoting back to the raffle. I think it's really exciting. Carl has, given us the thumbs up in donating the grand prize, which I just put that little picture on there. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but it is a 98-inch LG TV in a Legends fireplace stand. And so this is from their website. I'm assuming it's about this. So it does include the stand plus the TV, which can be a different size if the winner wants. But we thank Carl's for that. Furthermore, we thank all of your clubs for the donations. And I have asked for those, either a picture or a statement of what those are. And by the 1st of March, I have received this list already from various clubs. So a lot of gift cards, which is really exciting. And what I want to do, and feel free to advertise this, by the way, and what I want to do is also energize more on social media and with our larger connections amongst our friends and family network, our community networks that are non-Rotarians. Let's introduce Rotary to them through this method. You can explain why you're raising money. You can explain the projects that your club's already doing or want to do, or just seeking ideas of what the community need is for future years. So I will be notifying you as the club raffle representative of the winner, and it is your responsibility then, working with your club, your treasurer, or whomever else you want to work with, to then get this prize to the winner, whether that be via snail mail or via email or however that communication goes. It has the gift cards are a simple thing to, I think, send the email, as long as the recipient is aware of that email coming, so that they can adequately get their prize. So exciting for that. Okay, this is a summary slide. I'm going to go through each of these areas separately, but what's new is, the bottom line is, I've introduced an electronic way of payment. And, but I haven't taken away the hard copy tickets, but they do look a little different. And so I'll go through each of that. And so hopefully, I know at the end, if I haven't touched on how your club currently does it, and maybe you really don't like the newness, then hopefully there's still everything that's in play for you to continue in the process that you're comfortable with. But what I really want is, I have people in my club, and it's a different generation. They don't even own a checkbook, and they don't carry cash. How do we get those people? And furthermore, how do we get to the non-Rotarians that I keep speaking about? And I want to be able to have a link that's really easy for you to copy and share on your social media, mainly Facebook and Insta, and or send an email, or just there's a QR code, you can scan that. I mean, if all these things, hopefully some of these things that I just said make sense to you, and if not, then we'll talk about the old paper copy. So let's go through each of these. What's new? So there is an electronic platform called Zephy that I have created an account, and some of you heard Linda and I talking about that account. We actually started a separate account specifically for the raffle, so it's not blending other funds and money that is with our memberships and things like that. Completely separate, associated with our district. That will be the reciprocal of the money that is gathered online, and then as a lump sum, we will then donate that to Rotary International. And so that is the platform, and I'll go through that in a little bit. I do say a couple of times, part of this is how do we start, refining and streamlining our money without printing hard copy. And although some of you already were, this isn't new, our raffle isn't new. I said, hey, yeah, send me, this is the address you can send them to. And I said, thank you, but we don't need your address right now because we're not printing them in that capacity. And if you didn't know, that was about $2,000. We'll just be saving that money. Okay, I'm going to go through the next couple of slides. I'm going to go through what that looks like. So when you have that QR code or the link that you use or you send out to others to use, and I do want to talk through this because I think it's very simple, and others that click on it might think so too, but we want to make sure we get the messaging correct to those that might have questions. So you are that representative for your club. So when you click on that or take the picture and go to that website and you say, yep, I want to buy a ticket or a lump ticket. Now, I want to say I did stick with $10 this year just for ease of first year introduction in this. So every ticket's $10. There isn't a discount for more, and in future years we might be able to do that. But so it's just two. If you want to buy one ticket and that is 3, 4, 5, 6, you can just add that up. Or if you want to know you want to buy your whole book of tickets, that's $100, and you can just do that. Even though you have $100, Zephy will still assign a ticket number per ticket. So every ticket is still a winning ticket. So if you buy one, the lump of 10, which is for $100, you will still get 10 numbers and 10 chances in the raffle. And then there's some introduction and words to the raffle and why on the right hand side. So then you get to the next page. What I have done on this page is added a few questions that will help us highlight who gets credit. And you may or may not know, but it's a big thing for people who are tracking, and we want people to track this. When you donate to the fund, the Rotary Foundation, the Rotary Annual Share, you receive Paul Harris Fellow Points. And if you don't, like my club, we have Happy Bucks, right? And when we pay $1, it doesn't get to me. If I pay $10 or more, it does. But that $1, then the club as a whole gets credit. And so we want to make sure that happens for those. Specifically, if it's an individual who is counting on this donation, you buy 3 tickets, $30, that's over $25. That is meets the eligibility for the criteria, for you to be in every Rotarian every year. So the question to this is phrased like this: input the name of the Rotarian that invited you to purchase this ticket. If self, if applicable, leave blank if unknown. So this isn't required, but if nobody knows, then they're just going to leave it blank. If it's me and I want the credit, I'm going to put my name or self, or if somebody that, I've invited a friend and they remember to put my name, that kind of thing. Now, the other one is required. Select the Rotary Club to which the Rotarian that invited you to purchase the ticket belongs. And if unknown, then they are required to select something. In this case, I'm guiding them to select District 5610. 5610 has monies and Paul Harris Fellow Points of its own for that, so that we know exactly where the points are going. On the right hand side, and this is a foot stomper, on the right hand side, Zephy is free for nonprofits, and they do have enough people that contribute, and some people might cock their head sideways just a little bit. And the big circle right there, it does default to what I think some would consider a servicing fee, but it's not required. But it does default to a number, like I think it's 15%. So you can absolutely 100%. Zeffie's training aid says, we understand that not everybody can afford that, and we want to still, you know, have this platform. Please feel free in that case to select other and 0, and that's totally okay. Again, it doesn't default that to that, at least not that I have found. So please make sure that your individuals know that. And then I ask for the phone number. I do ask for the phone number or somebody's phone number, even if they put their club's, you know, phone number, club president's phone number or whatnot. And then I ask what preferred method do you want to be called? And then all the other data there with the email, name, city, state, whatnot. And then you have to type it so that it's legible. Okay, then when you push submit and the payment is then sent to our new account, Zeffie then produces a receipt for that individual. And I do think, again, that it's just a positive way and an easy way for you to share posts. My intention is to keep putting posts on our district website, or excuse me, our district socials, and you then can share those. Or it will be regularly put in our newsletters. You can copy and you can share that email with your friends and family and non-Rotarians. So again, another way to kind of push and increase that. So before I go on to what's different or what's old, do I have any questions? Yes, Nancy, on the what's new.
I had to unmute. If someone asks how secure this site is, what can we tell them about that? You know, if they're paying online, a lot of people want to know how secure that site would be. And will my credit card number still be kept someplace? How do I make sure everything is secure?
It is not kept. And I watched the educational program from Zeffie, and they talk about what platform they use. I can get back to, I didn't remember that, but I can tell you what secure platform that is. And by combining it with, it doesn't go through a third party, you know, it goes direct, uses a platform to directly with our account. Another reason that our account is its own exclusive account, right? It isn't blending any other money with any other funds that are, you know, accessible to Rotary. And it is its own secure account.
And Zeffie doesn't use our information?
Not that I found. I will research some more, but not that I found.
But like I said, I'm expecting people will ask, and I want to have some answers. So.
Okay, thank you for the question.
Thanks.
Anybody else on what's new? And I can't actually see everybody, so if there is, I advise you just type in. Okay, all right, I will continue then. What's old? So the use of that paper ticket that I was talking about, that hard cardstock paper that we often filled out and then never really did anything with it, but you know, it created the tickets. So a little bit more streamlined. We've kind of passed that to individuals / clubs to print that out if you choose to do that. But this is a normal sheet that I will later send to you. I just want to make sure that the QR code doesn't change when we go live. If you go to it now, it might say, hey, it's not quite set up. And so I want to make sure that that actual QR code doesn't change when we go live with the Zeffie. But that is still applicable, and you can still see that on this hard copy sheet. So this is just a regular sheet of paper that you can print off. And then you see how they're kind of designated, same kind of questions that were on Zeffie: name of purchaser, who's the Rotarian that sold it, address, what club. And then on that far right, if your buyer wants kind of a receipt, that's what can be used as a receipt. You can just cut that off and hand that. Notice there's no number assigned to it because the district raffle staff will assign a number. And this is where I'll be a little vulnerable to you. If the Zeffie doesn't take off at all and everybody still uses this, then we will go through and assign a number altogether as a small staff, and then use that big barrel to pick out the numbers. If the online really takes off and there's less paper tickets, Zephy allows the possibility of us to hand put it in, but there's no money exchanged. But by hand putting it in, we'll highlight that they paid separately via check or cash to another area. But the important part is that a number is then assigned. And then we'll use the random number generator to create that. So for those that want a hard copy, this is your hard copy. You as the rep can email this out, work with your president and what you'd like to do. If you want to print them and take them and hand them out to everybody, I suggest handing 2 copies because there are 5 tickets per piece of page. And if we want to meet our goal, that's about 7 tickets per Rotarian in our district. Or you can email it out to everybody and have them do it. At the end of the day, all I need back, this hard copy is specifically for individuals who want to pay via check or cash. For the clubs that choose to accept that cash and check and put it in their club's account, and then complete the donor contribution form, and then send the money and the donor contribution form together from the club, directly from the club to RI, that's fine. All I need back is a picture or a scan or the hard copy of this. Whatever is easiest for you, this is what I need for them to enter into the raffle. So if your club is used to doing that and used to using your own, you can still do that. If you're not, then what I need is I would need the money. The district need the money because at the end, the contribution form and the money have to go together to go to Rotary International. In preparing for this presentation today, I am going to add one more question on Zephy that asks if you know of somebody else that's already completed the contribution form on your behalf, because what I don't want is the clubs to do the contribution form and also my district's raffle staff to do the contribution form. That would be overlapping. Nancy, I see you. Let me finish the slide. And then I'll get to you.
Okay.
The other thing is,
I have a question on the slide too. So.
Yep. Okay.
You said pay the club raffle representative via check and mail the check to RI. Don't they mail it to TRF?
Oh, I don't know who that gets mailed to. If you're needing me
because if it's the foundation, it needs to be sent to TRF, not Rotary International.
I'm sorry, I confused that. Does your club do that then? Is that what you're saying? Is your club collects all the money and sends that together to High Rotary rather than going through the district?
We send it directly to the Rotary Foundation.
Okay, super. Yeah, I will. I don't know that address. That is perhaps my misspeak.
Okay, I just wanted to find out because, but that's what we're doing if that's what's going on. But okay, sorry to interrupt again.
No worries, but very good transition as well for those in your club that are already comfortable donating. Using the My Rotary, which is the international level. Rotary, like with the donate, that's fine. They can do that, and then they tell you as the club and go, okay, so I bought $100 and donated it to the annual share fund at Rotary, and here's my receipt. And then they need to fill out this piece of paper, this for this many tickets, and then again, I need to enter them into the raffle, so I need just a copy of this picture. So any of that is still available to us. Okay, so
this is Brenda.
Yep, go ahead. Somebody had a question on what.
Yeah, this is Brenda. So if they're doing this all online, then we don't need to worry about a confirmation form. That's all going to be handled internally.
If they're doing it online via the My Rotary, that's correct. If they're doing it via Zephy, that's why we have those other questions that are being asked. Which one was your question? Was it the My Rotary donation through Rotary? Okay. Yeah. Okay. With the My Rotary donation, that's somebody who's very comfortable with the My Rotary going directly to the website and doing it. That's automatically happening because they have to log in, so they'll get credit. That's the login. That's fine. That kind of takes care of itself. If they're doing it via Zephy, if they're doing it via Zephy exclusively, like your friend, then your friend's going to say, well, the person that invited me to purchase this is Brenda. and Brenda belongs to the Sioux City Club. So then, and then the next question I'm going to add is, did the Sioux City Club do this for you? Probably not, or unknown. And then the district Rotary staff, district Raffle staff will do that on your behalf. If the club wants to do that, and as the club, let's say you do that, let's say you choose to purchase via Zeffy, and you go through Zeffy, and then you turn around and you say, here's my receipt, because you get a receipt from Zeffy, right? You say, here's my receipt. Can you, secretary, or you, however your club does that, fills out the contribution form? That's fine too. I just don't want to duplicate that. So it's either done within the club, not taking that, I'm not forcing that away from the club if the club is already comfortable with that. But if you're not comfortable with that, then the district staff will do that for you.
I can just see people going through the Zeffy and then not telling us, and then we would never put it on a contribution form to send to the Rotary Foundation.
But that's what we would do. That's what the Rotary staff would do.
You'll
That's why I added those
Okay.
extra questions. Yep, that's why I added those extra questions. Okay, what's different? So like I said, I'm not going to snail mail you a copy of the hard copy ticket. Also, don't be alarmed that each ticket does not get an individual number at the time that they pay the money and get that, unless it's through Zeffy, because when they get the receipt, they'll get a ticket that has the number on it. So that's kind of different. That might need a little explanation. We will, you know, I don't know if you'll have to let me know if people really insist on knowing the number. I can get back to that. But if not, you know, the number is associated with the name, and we would not inform people via number. We'd inform people via name. We would say, you know, hey, Sioux Falls downtown, this is your winner name, not your winner number. Okay, I have mentioned, I think, you know, with the questions I've mentioned, I feel like you already know, but just as a refresher, these are the forms we're talking about. More specifically, the right-hand side, which is the multiple donor form, and that's the name and the contribution amount. Again, I think it's important though to when the money gets sent, it is in conjunction with the contribution form. So those two together in order to have the appropriate club or individual, or in the case of neither, the district, to receive that credit for the donation. You received this, but just as a reminder of some of the highlights of the dates, we're here getting the representatives. I very much appreciate each of you and your time again. March 1st is when I have the official selling of the tickets beginning, from March 1st to April 15th. That's a little over 6 weeks. I will say that we already have state's approval, and that is the actual official statewide raffle begins on the 24th, so that, you know, the district staff here can make sure that Zeffy works and do a little bit of a dry run and giving us time. But if you end up selling one before, you're okay, starting on the 24th. Same with the end. I do have the statewide going all the way up until the expected date of the raffle draw, just in case there's something that just gets delayed. I worked in a little extra time with this because of course this is new and I still need to figure out. I don't know how much extra time or less time that this will take on behalf of myself and my district raffle staff. So there's just a little bit extra time with that. But if you end up not meeting one of these timelines, just communicate with us is what I ask. So the actual raffle draw I have on May 13th. My club meets that day. That is our Rotary Club meeting. And we always do a hybrid meeting. So we're a pretty energetic bunch for 7 in the morning. And so once a month, and in May it falls on this day of May 13th, we have what's called Rotary Day. So it's kind of like just, we don't have an actual presenter, but we do have more internal conversations and presenters about Rotary things. So it's very fitting for that day. So we'll just do the Pledge of Allegiance and our 4-way test and introduce guests and say hello to everybody online. And then we'll go ahead and do the raffle there. And then everybody's welcome to just sit in for the rest of the meeting if not. And also I'd like to open this up to people who are new people that you perhaps are selling this to. So I will, you know, widely disseminate the Zoom the day of the actual draw. And then after that, again, there's a little bit of time. We will inform you of all the winners and then you will work through your club to get the prizes to the winners and finish up any of those contribution forms that need to happen. And we want to make sure that everything, and then I will also inform everybody of which clubs kind of were the winner of selling the most, and we just really want to work through. We really have to get all of this done by the 30th of June, which is why there's just some marks of time here, so that we can, anything that goes into the next fiscal year would count as the next fiscal year. So we want to make sure that this is all before the end of this fiscal year, this nonprofit fiscal year. So what's our goal? I just have a couple more slides here. What's our goal? So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a veteran. I served for 22 years, but for 4 years, I was also a cadet at the Air Force Academy. I graduated in 1995. So like maybe you have a special number, everything is like from 95, and it became like a whole funny thing in my whole world. Like if something was, you know, 97, instead of saying 97, we'd say 95 plus 2. If it was 91, we'd say 95 plus minus 4. So I selected 95,000 as our goal, but also I'm hoping that we reach a greater audience, and the past successes have been hovering right around 75 to 80,000. Yay us. But I want to raise that to a higher but achievable goal, I think, with the additional possibility of reaching individuals through Zeffie, through our online. This will secure about approximately half of that comes back in DDF and half of that for district grants. So that's approximately $21,000 for district grants in the Rotary year of 27-28. Again, let this help you message this. This is why we're doing this, because we're doing this for our communities. What do we want to change in our communities? And I'd like you to start thinking about that. In fact, it could open up conversations with those non-Rotarians or your greater friend and family network or your other nonprofits that you're involved in. As a refresher, these are the 7 areas of focus, and this is a hyperlink to how to get started with district grants. And I hope Brad Blaha is okay with this. He is currently our district grants chair, so that is the individual with specific questions. I have a background in working with grants, and specifically on the global grants, but through that have learned a lot about the flow of money and district grants too, so I can also answer some questions, but I don't want to step on Brad and his position. So be thinking about that. Be thinking about what that project looks like for you, because that is your why. That is your why this effort is happening, and why we're raising money for the annual fund share. Today, it's been being recorded. I'll host this again next Saturday for anybody that might be able to attend next Saturday instead. And then, as you heard from the beginning, we will send this out if you need to refer to it again, and we'll post it as well on our YouTube channel. This is my contact information and my email, and it is an iPhone, so I do text. I guess I prefer an email just so we can document and refer to it if we need to. But if you need more immediate assistance, obviously text catches my attention pretty quickly. I may or may not be able to answer the phone right away. I do work full time, but I will then call you back when it works for both of us. So I will stop sharing at this point and entertain any other questions that might have come up. Okay, what I owe so far is a little bit more about the security, and then confirming that it's the Rotary Foundation and what that address is are my two takeaways that I need to get back to you. And Nancy, give another question. Your hand's still up.
You're gonna be sick of me. Actually, what I wanted to do was kind of summarize to make sure I've understood this right. One is that if we use Zeffie, if we can get everybody possible to use Zeffie, they fill it out properly and we don't need to do anything, right?
Correct.
For those who want a paper copy, give them the paper ticket, we collect the money, we can send the money off to the Rotary Foundation and fill out the multiple donor form, right?
Right.
And then but make sure that you have that copy for who's got it and names, right? So that we just let you know who bought the the other tickets, or, you know, bought the hard copy tickets, so we, so it's, Zeffie takes care of everything, hard copy, we send in the money, send you the names, and that's it, right?
Correct. So I need to still enter them into the raffle is why you're sending me that, so that hard copy piece back.
Right, but I mean, that's kind of basically all there is to it. We either kind of do it like we used to do before, but send you the names or the information, or they handled on Zeffie, right?
Right. And I went with a sub caveat on the Zeffie. If your club is, I'm not trying to take that away if your club prefers to do the form, but that'll take a little bit of communication between who's doing it, just so we don't duplicate it.
Right.
So that will be me to you or whoever, like your treasurer or whoever's doing that stuff.
Because what I wanted to make sure is that, you know, that whoever buys the paper copies, their names get in the drawing. You know, so
yes, that's why you have to send that back to me. And it should
right.
be, I mean, I hope that that's easy. You're not needing to mail it. You're saving a little bit of postage. I can do it in a picture. Just make sure it's legible.
Yeah, that sounds really simple. I mean, I really like the idea of it. It doesn't sound like it's going to be all that difficult to pull off. So,
you know, and as I thank you for that question. Did you have another question? I'm sorry, you didn't mean to interrupt.
Nope, I'm finished. Thanks.
Yeah, and I know it's new. I hope that it takes off, but I also don't want to stop the energy that's working really well for particular clubs. You know, as I became POC of this, I learned of different methods. You know, some clubs literally just have like kind of a fair, and they have people come up to their booth and they have the exchange right there. So that's still possible. Anybody else? Okay. Well, again, you have my phone number and contact information should something come up. I will send you the tickets. We just want to connect. Our next step is our staff connecting Zeffie with the account and doing a dry run on that. And then I will send you out the form that you can then send that out. But, you know, if you want to start messaging this to your club, I advise you to do that. For those of you who have not supplied me your donated prize, then please do that by the 1st of March. And I just plan on just kind of repeating that on social media and getting some energy. Any last questions? All right. Hearing none, I thank you again. About 40 minutes. Feel free Linda and I will stay on for a bit if you just want to ask anything privately. Otherwise, have a great Saturday. Stay warm. Finally stopped snowing here in the west, but there's still a bit of snow and now I have to go shovel.